Hello, beautiful people of the tube. This is Neil Walters with Neil's Videos, and today we're going to look at my fancy cake build for March, the contest. And first I want to show you this little spreadsheet. I was doing some tracking yesterday, and this is the first time I really used the portal in a real game. I think it came out in the last competition, but last competition I was just kind of busy and I didn't put a lot of effort in the game. This week I had a little bit more time, so I put the portal and I did the research. The research definitely paid off, and it was a lot easier, I think, this week than last week. So yesterday I tracked what happened when I had the portal on. So at 2:15, I turned it on yesterday. This is military time, and I had 499. Is that? No, it's my rank. I'm sorry, that's not my points. That's my rank. So I'm more interested in how I'm ranking against other people, actually. Okay, so this is how much city cash I had, and you can see that the city cash goes down every hour, and it was approximately 19 million per hour, because I think it's 5 minutes, it uses 2.5 million. So I don't know if that math works out, but these are the actual numbers of what it actually did, okay? And then my rank, you can see, went up till, the lower the number, the better the rank, right? So I got up to 393 last night, and then I was almost out of cash. I didn't want to go below, since it's going to eat 2.5 million each time, I didn't really want to go below 4 or 5. So I shut it off. And of course, every time you shut it off, it's already eaten the 2.5 million. And unfortunately, there's no way to shut it off. Someone said you could remove the road. I guess I could have done that. But anyway, I just shut it off. And then this morning, no, I haven't turned it back on yet. So here's what happened overnight. My rank went back down to 501 at 8:15 this morning, and I have not had the portal on yet. And my rank is now dropped to 581. So if it does like yesterday, I think my rank will go up to about 400 today, which is Friday. And then I got to figure out, I'm going to have to do some math and figure out, like, tomorrow, maybe I need to turn it on at like 8 a.m. So it has like, I think, 4 hours to go tomorrow. So I don't want it to drain all my money, or maybe I need to, I don't know, I have to do the numbers to optimally make sure I get as many points as I can without running out of cash before the last minute. But I do have places I have to go tomorrow, so I might be able to set it and forget it if I do my math correctly. So today, right now, I'm at rank 581, and I have 145 million, which is roughly what I had yesterday. So again, at probably 2:15 again today, I'll turn it back on, and I'll let it run again till I think it's 9:15 at night, roughly. And my rank should go back up, but maybe not to 393. It looks like I'm probably going to go up to maybe 400 or so, or maybe 450, 460. My rank is not as good as I wish it was. Again, I'm not overly dedicating myself to this game with other things going on in my life, every week. And so that's that. Now let me show you my town. I think overall it's a pretty good build. Tons of windmills, you can see. And as always, let's see, now when I'm recording, it's going to slow down my town quite a bit. So as I always tell you, I run it on another laptop, which is faster. And I was actually getting higher frames per second this week. So maybe they've improved the build some. I think I was hitting 70 sometimes on my other machine. And now even with the video going and remote desktop, I'm at, around about 30. So things are definitely better frames per second wise. Shoot. Now, let me show you. Come on. I would have probably liked to have a desert, but I got a forest just because I wanted the river more than I wanted the desert. And I'm only using 2 water towers, even though I have up to 4 that I can use. And so over here, of course, my crops, you got your sugar, your cocoa, your forest, and that kind of stuff. You didn't need many trees in this build, really. This is my large wood storage, which is an NFT. And you can see it's got 52 wood in it. So I think I'm producing more than enough wood. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loggers, and actually I still had a couple of lumberjacks that I re-added later. I'm not sure they're really needed, but there was a slight time I had a little bit of a wood shortage. So yeah, there's some things I could optimize. Obviously, I could put another bakery, cakery, and another chocolate factory probably right here, and that probably would increase my production a little. I do also have a lot of meadows over here, which I could probably reduce a little if I really put the effort into it. So I think, I could tweak my city more, but after the first day of building it, it's just like, I guess I don't have the drive to really keep going with it as many hours the next day as I did the first day. Because the first day is just, I won't say it's draining, but it takes you all day, you on and off. You have to keep checking your town and stuff. And, I guess I'm saying I'm just not as dedicated to this game as some people are, right? So over here, I have my three special fast milk cows or milk barns. This is a new NFT they came out with last week, and I bought three of them. And if you watched my last videos, you know that lately I've been doing sort of a candy cane rush. So I start building sugar right away, and then millet, or sugar cane, millet to sugar, and I have to have some peppermints, and then I make the candy canes. And that worked out well to build this research center this time because the research center needed decorated cakes, and decorated cakes took a couple. This one right here, this is the research that I did. I think you can delete the research center afterwards, which I was going to check on Discord, but again, I just got too busy. So I had to make, I think, is it 50 or whatever, 30 or 50 fancy cakes. So that I have two NFT candy shops, which are good for that. And I'll show you how I did my build using the screenshots here in just a moment, if you want to stay around for that. So I have 5 cakeries, only 2 bakeries. You only need one lumber mill. Here's the portal down here. You can see it's off right now. And it looks like I ended up with 6 farm tractors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ATVs for the ranchers. And I don't know how many windmills. At least I think 25 or 30 now. I think it was 24 last time I counted, and I think I added these 4 later. So lots of windmills. So what would we think? Just trying to think, what would I do different next time? Probably try to optimize my meadows over here better. Maybe squeeze in another couple of buildings. I think this little L shape here in the middle kind of worked good. Uh, and even though I call it the last mile of the roads, I don't always do because like these roads up here are barely ever used. And same thing, I guess this road here probably is used more because it's got 3 windmills on it. So I don't know why I didn't pave that. Let's pave it right now. Get her done. I'm still suffering with that searching for internet thing a lot, and I think that probably knocks me down 20 to 100 in the ranks too. Um, I don't know if it's a bug or if I just have horrible internet, but none of my other internet has any issues. Anything else I do, like I do Oculus Quest, I do the Supernatural thing game or whatever it's called, Exercise. I never have any internet problems with that. It's only in TownStar that I get this searching for internet all the time. There goes a cake right now. So that is overall my city. The research center definitely sped things up, and I'm glad I did that this time. So now let's go look at the still pictures of how I built my game. Oh, and by the way, the reason I bought this strawberry NFT here was I thought that I could have a better rush with it, but I did the analysis. In other words, I was thinking I could make chocolate covered strawberries, and maybe that would make me more than candy canes, but it did not. So I didn't buy it just for the fancy cakes, and now I kind of wish I wouldn't have. So it's one I might sell later because it's not something that you're going to be able to play in every game. Whereas on the other hand, the cows that I mentioned over here with the fast barn, you can use those to rush every game. So even though I'm doing a rush with candy canes, at the same time I'm doing that, the cows are pulling in, I think it's $40,000 every few minutes, every time they sell 10 milk. So it's kind of like non-competitive because I have the wheat stand, and the just add a trowel and some feed mills, and you got a little extra income coming in from those 3 barns there. And I'm sure there's some people that probably bought 5 or 10 of those barns because that could be just the rush by itself. And the rush means, how you start the game, basically. How do you get cash to build your town the way you want to? Like if you start with the forest like this, there's tons of trees, and the trees cost 14,000 of your city cash to destroy. And that's why a lot of people, myself included, I think we now prefer the desert. But anyway, so it costs a lot of money just to clear the trees. So I always try to avoid, I try to put my roads and stuff trying to go around the trees when I first start. I assume most people kind of do the same. So over here, I put my three new NFT milk cows and got them going. I moved my sugar over here closer to the river, and that way this frees this area up to be able to put some buildings and not put shade on them, even though the farmer has to walk further, but I have a road for him to follow there. And then here's my first windmill, and it needs to be like 3 squares away from anything else. And as you see, I'll put my other windmills on there. They all have to be 3 or 4 squares apart so you don't have any shade on or wind problems with each other. So they'll run at the green fastest speed. At the end of the game, they'll all be red, of course, but at the beginning of the game, you want them to be as efficient as possible. So this one over here is going to be making sugar, and this is a sugar stand that I think I won in one of the competitions. So it gives 2 sugar to that windmill, and then one of the sugar canes has to be carried over here. So it gives sugar cane, sorry, not sugar. And then there's my 3 windmills, okay. And if you really want to get down to it, you can watch the time either here or you can look at the time in the upper left corner. So that's how long my city is taking for me to build. This is my rank at the beginning. I was at 341 at that point of the game. So my rush usually puts me in the top 300 easily. This is the trick a lot of you may or may not know, but you can put, if you have these water towers, you can put them here and build your pond a lot quicker. So this got like 2 water from that pond, 4 from here, and 4 from here. And then that gives it 10, and boom, it just, that way you don't have to wait on the guy to carry the water from the water well to the pond. And then when you're done, your NFTs, you can hit this return button, and you can return them and move them around wherever you want. So that's a common technique. Here I've already got my candy cane, my first one going. Before I built 2 of them, I wanted to just have enough sugar for this one, so I didn't think I had enough resources for 2. So I started with 1 sugar cane, and then as soon as I think I sold the first candy canes, I put the second one in, which of course takes 14,000 to destroy another tree here. And I put this NFT, the Tesla coil, between them. That gives them 1 power. And meanwhile, the Tesla coil, this is the constructor house. I'm not constructor, the builder house. The builder will carry the batteries from here to the warehouse, which is also an NFT. So those are some of the NFTs I play with. Here I got to remember to turn on certain cards. Since it's a windmill heavy game, you'll make sure if you have a gusty windmill card that's being played, and all your other cards that speed up the game. I think it's kind of turning into a card game, or if you want to call it an NFT game, but there's so many of these cards and NFTs that eventually everybody's going to have different stuff, and it's going to be your strategy as to which ones you're going to use. This NFT here was told the peppermint, and so it's going to be a lot closer for this guy to get the peppermint from there instead of walking all the way over here to the silo. So I think that's a good deal. And then over here I have 2 wind turbines, and they will also produce electricity because now you see here I have my lumber mill. I need that to get some paved roads so I can build my power plant and my industrial complex. So you got to have that first to make lumber, and you need 1 lumber and 3 wood to fill out your paved roads, which you need for the power plant. Okay. So then over here you see some trees growing on the left that I planted because eventually you start tearing down these trees. So you have to have the tree farms to grow your trees. I'm just going over some of the very basics, in case there's beginners watching this. This here is my speedy constructor house. I have 2 of those, so they build things a little faster than the normal constructor house, which is here, and that's an NFT that makes it look like Miranda's, which gives a little speed boost in the game. And you can see now here I've got my first refinery and my first power plant, and my 2, these are NFT water pumps. And you can see I got that done while I still have 15 gas left, so I had plenty of time. And now I'm starting to fill up this thing with gas as well. Next, there's my other 2 industrial things, another refinery and another power plant. You put that refinery in between the 2 power plants so that it can get its 6 energy passively that it needs. This one only needs, I think, 2. And then now you got you got gas basically for the rest of the game just based on that. Stick another, now I tore down the wind turbines, and I'm putting a windmill here, and then I'm adding some more, probably cocoa. I don't know what crop that was. I now have a couple of regular built barns as well. And various houses growing, and not growing, but various houses I placed up here in the large lumber yard now. A regular lumber yard here. I call this back roading here. A back road, in my terminology, means I put the other road there, so when I pave this road, this building doesn't stop working. Because if you try to pave that road and you don't have another side road or back road, that building goes red. And then it's like, how do you get the lumber to pave the road when your lumber yard itself is turned off, right? So you sometimes have to add, at least I do, I add that extra road there so that I can get the lumber out of the lumber yard. A little trick of mine, at least. I'm sure other people do that. A little more windmills popping up everywhere. First chocolate factory. I think I have one NFT chocolate factory as well. And that's why I was thinking that, I might be able to have a good rush with the chocolate strawberries. But anyway, like I said, that didn't work. I'll show you a spreadsheet on that. Another video. I put my zone, maze zone, whatever it is, 3, I think here, so I can get my brine. And I didn't need an ocean for that. Eventually, I have 4 of those. Lots of windmills now. So my pattern here, let's go back one screen. Yeah, so see what I did? I'm setting up for this here. I built little roads around this, and I moved the sugar cane stand in the middle, and then basically I can have it's 6 or 7 around that. So yeah, see these 7 guys here are all getting 2 sugar canes from that. It has to be on a road though, unlike the wheat stand. So that's why you can't get 8 around it. I guess it would also provide one sugar, one further away, but that doesn't really work out very well because you have to have the roads. So that's that. Lots of houses up here. And during this game, of course, to build a logger house, it's going to take away your stars. And so you don't have enough stars yet to start building the houses you would in a regular game. Okay. So that was the new twist that they were trying us with this month, which it was okay. I built a couple extra. Oh, I moved my storehouse here. I did a separate video on that the other day. My first game, I had my storehouse way over here. I realized they were just walking too far. So the storehouse really needs to be in the center area of where your bakeries and cakeries are, and your chocolate factories. And even I built another couple warehouses eventually just to provide a little overflow. This is a NFT large one that holds 60. And now I actually got up to place 96 for a while. That was kind of nice. Unfortunately, I did not stay there. Just more fleshed out here. I do have another lumber yard temporarily. I didn't need it very often, but it was nice to have occasionally. And I don't think I have much else to say about that. At this point, I don't think it's changing very much. Just some of the crops are changing. I think I have 2 silos here. Oh, the big difference here is I built this little, let's go back. I'm going back 2, 3 screens now. I had that road there then. Okay, now at some point I built this little road up here. Let's go back again. See, there I didn't have that road. So here, to get the houses pretty much situated, I built that little road. And it is kind of a dead-end road. I actually ended up putting another silo there. So now I'm going back forward, I think 2 or 3 slides. So this is where I was at last. And see, I still only have 75,000 stars, but you can see now I have built at least 2 logger houses. And like I said, I think they're eating 500,000 stars every time you build one of those. So it kind of takes a while to build them. And now you see maybe more loggers. Oh, you see at least one ATV, another storehouse. Oh, pottery. So now this is where to do the research center, I had to make, I forget what it was, 50 or no, 100 no, not nectars, 100 honeycombs. So you'll see in a minute I put a bunch of, let's go to the next screen, a bunch of pantries. Actually, I accidentally built 6. I only needed 5. So what happened is over the night, I let it build up 100 of these. And then that way the next morning, when I turned the research center on, it started, he still has to walk over here and get the honeycombs from all these places. So it took a while. And then that same morning, I started making the decorated cakes instead of fancy cakes. So I shut off the fancy cakes for a while, switched to decorated cakes. And still, it took like maybe an hour or 2 to get all that done. And then I was able to turn the portal on, get rid of the pantries, and then everything got pretty fast at that point. So this is at one point in the game, I was 458 in the rank. And looks like here's where I got rid of the pantries and the pottery house and the beehives and all that stuff. Okay. Now I have like 4 cakeries, a bunch of chocolate factories, 2 bakeries. And after that, there's really nothing major that changed. I just kind of kept filling it in. Oh, that's another town. Yeah, I put the silo down here also for the cocoa. So that's what I tried to do on the left side here. I wanted the sugar to basically go up here, sugar canes, and I wanted the cocoa to go down here. And I think that worked pretty well because basically the farmers down here, that's also why I put the farm tractors here. So basically they're carrying the cocoa to this silo, and then these farmers up here are carrying sugar cane and salt to these silos up here. And that is my game. So that's my summary. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you do well in the competition if you're competing, or hope you're having fun learning TownStar. And I will see you on the future video. Talk to you later. Have a good weekend.